Hello guys, Robot1 here, and today I am doing a segment on my channel called Good or Bad, where I talk about cards that I think have a 50-50 ratio of being good or bad. Some people think they're bad, some people think they're good, and I talk about the pros and cons of the card and which I think is either good, if it's better or bad, if it's bad or good, essentially. So let's get straight into this. Today I'm going to be talking about a new spell card that was recently released in the new battle pack, called Lullaby of Obedience. I have talked about this in an earlier video as well, in my Future of Yu-Gi-Oh segment. So let's get into the pros and cons of this card, because it's a card that I believe a lot of people have actually think is either good or bad. So let's just read the effect first. So it's a normal spell card with the effect that states, pay 2,000 life points and declare one monster card name as cost. Your opponent looks at their deck, reveals one of the declared monsters if there is any, and apply one of these effects. Add it to the hand of the player who activated this card. Sorry, my pronunciation and my speech is a little screwed up right now. I got a bit of a stutter. And the next effect, and the other option is, the player who activated this card special summon it to their field in attack position, ignoring summoning conditions. So let's talk about the cons first. The first con of the card is you have to pay 2,000 life points. Now, paying 2,000 life points isn't really anything in the game anymore, but still having to pay 2,000 life points can be a big thing, because say you draw Lullaby of Obedience late game. If you draw a Lullaby of Obedience late game, then you're not able to actually use the card, making it a very dead draw. Or, if you're main decking the card, you could not have any knowledge of what your opponent's playing, and you're not able to declare a correct name, or anything like that. Even if you're declaring a name like Effect Veiler or Maxi, they will still have the ability to summon it to your field. The next con is, as I just stated, your opponent has full control of what happens to the card. So unless it's a card that can actually gain you advantage, such as the Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon in the Blue Eyes Mirror match, it's not going to help you at all, because you could call Effect Veiler and they summon it to your field. Now, it gives you a tuner monster, of course, but you're not going to be able to utilize that unless you're playing any synchro monsters, so it could be a very bad option. And another thing is, if they add a card like, say, you call the Blue Eyes White Dragon, they add the Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand, meaning your opponent with full control of where the card goes gives you a harder time of actually using it. So that's obviously the cons of the card. Now, the big pros of the card as well is, if you're in a mirror match, you can actually side this card in and use the card to declare, if you're in a Pendulum mirror match, you could say, declare Performer Power Pendulum Sorcerer. Now, if it's a Performer Power Pendulum Sorcerer, they then have the option to either special summon it or add it to your hand. Now, if they add it to your hand, then you're going to be able to gain a free scale or a free monster to summon, gain the effect to destroy, and search 2 cards. Two Performer Power cards. If it's being special summoned, then you get the option to destroy it or another card you control, or just 2 different cards you control, and then get 2 Performer Power cards anyway. And even if it's added to your hand, like I just said, you can use it as a scale to actually be able to gain your full scale. So you still have options. In a Metal Foes mirror matches, even if it's in a Metal Foes matchup, you can call a scale. You could call Metal Foes Gold Driver. Gold Driver would then be special summoned to your field, and you would then have a level 4 to use for Xyz fodder or Fusion fodder or anything like that. So you do have a lot of options with the card, even though it's a card that does still give your opponent full control, because even if they add that Gold Driver to your hand, they're still giving you a low scale to use to your advantage. Now, another pro to the card is, if you have the knowledge of their deck, you can declare any card in their deck, any monster in their deck. So, say you're up against ABCs, right? If you're up against ABCs, you could activate the card, pay your 2,000 life points as cost, obviously, and then declare any level 4 ABC monster in your deck. And this mainly counts if you're playing a rank 4 deck or in the ABC mirror match. You could activate the ABC. You could summon the ABC monster from the deck, declaring the name, or add it to your hand if they give it to your hand. Then you're able to summon the card to your field or add it to your hand, or just normal summon it if you don't have all the monsters, you're then able to normal summon a gold gadget or special summon a Thrasher, use a card as Xyz material for your own effects, or just use it to instantly fusion summon into an ABC Dragon Buster if you've got the other 2 monsters in the graveyard or on the field. Or if they just and even if it's that, if you've got the ABC field spell, you're then able to use the ABC field spell to equip a monster from your deck onto the card. So you can even use it that way. And this is just a few options. And if you're in a Blue Eyes mirror match, then you could call a Blue Eyes alternative Dragon, getting the alternative to your hand, and then using the alternative to summon it and gain more advantage. So if you don't open that, or you could declare a Blue Eyes White Dragon, so you get the Blue Eyes to your hand, summon alternative. There's many options for this card to be unbrickable, and I find this card to have really good effects to it as well. So I've talked about the pros and the cons of the card, what it's good in and what it's not. First of all, I'd like to say this is obviously a side deck card, and it's something that I would obviously side deck more. It's not really a main deck card because you go into a duel with no knowledge of what your opponent's playing, and that could really screw you over. So I wouldn't recommend maining this card. But if you're siding the card, then great, because you have very many decks that you could side it against, and I personally will be siding my Lullaby of Obedience in my side deck, purely because I see the advantage of running the card. Now, what's my overall opinion on the card? The card is a great card. The card is absolutely amazing. Just being able to declare any card name in the deck, even if it does pay 2,000 life points, is just a very good effect, and I would really use this in my deck. Even if I wouldn't obviously side it in against decks like Blue Eyes or BA because it's completely useless for me against those, but would still use the card because it can help me gain advantage in tough situations. So guys, what do you think personally of Lullaby of Obedience? Do you think it's a good card? Do you think it's a bad card? What is your personal opinion on the card? Tell me in the comment section below, and guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.